Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my ACC football predictions. I gotta admit, the ACC is probably my favorite Power 5 conference in college football. I think it's a very competitive conference every year, and I really like it. This year, I do think it's going to be a lot of competitive teams again this year. I don't really think there's going to be like really a bad team per se in the um, ACC, but I do think there's going to be some teams that are going to struggle some because they are the weaker teams. I think there's going to be some teams that are going to do very good too in the ACC. But I think there's going to be a lot of teams in the middle, hovering around 7-5, 6-6, 5-7. So let's go ahead, dive into who I think is dive into my standing predictions. I do think whoever wins the ACC will get in a bowl game in the college football playoffs this year. So let's go ahead and look at my standings here. On your left, you have the Atlantic. On your right, you have the Coastal. Let's start with the Atlantic. I have Clemson winning the Atlantic, going 11-1, 8-0 conference record. Clemson to me is the best team in college football. I don't know why Alabama's ahead of them. I went on a rant about that on my reaction to the top 25 rankings for week 0 and 1. You can go check that video out on my YouTube channel. But to me, Clemson's the best team in college football. I think the only loss is going to be against Texas A&M on the road, and that's primarily because A, it's tough to play at College Station, and B, Jimbo Fisher's used to playing against Clemson. So that's primarily the main reasons why I think Texas A&M will beat them, Clemson. But besides that, I have them going 8-0 in the conference, 11-1 conference record. I do think some of these teams though will be in these games to the end against Clemson. I don't think Clemson will really have a tough time, but I do think a lot of these teams will be in these games. And also, I think Clemson has the best defense. I think their defense is better than Bama's. Second place, Florida State, 9-3 with a 6-2 conference record. Florida State last year was disappointing, only because the quarterback Francois got injured. He'll be back this year, so hopefully they'll be good. It's a new head coach. As I said, Jimbo Fisher went to Texas A&M, so now it's Willie Target. He's coming from Oregon, but he only did 1 year at Oregon. So I really, and it's his third new team in 3 years. So that's kind of interesting as well. I do think Florida State, they could sneak into a New Year's Six bowl, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't really think they will. I don't think they'll be in the college football playoffs. That I would guarantee. But they could sneak into a New Year's Six bowl. By the way, the teams we did for separate videos of, we did Clemson and Florida State in the Atlantic, and then in the Coastal we did Miami, Virginia Tech, Duke, and Georgia Tech. So, yeah. Anyways, third place in the Atlantic is Louisville. I have them going 7-5 with a 4-4 conference record. I do think it's a big loss in Lamar Jackson. I do believe in Bobby Patino, and I think their schedule's easy. So I think Louisville will sneak into a bowl game this year because I think their schedule is easy. I also believe in Bobby Patino. I think it's going to be a huge hole to fill for whoever's quarterbacking for them to replace Lamar Jackson. So it'll be interesting to watch that. They face Alabama week 1. They're going to get blown out against Alabama, but they're going to be fine, Louisville, in my opinion. So I have them going 7-5 with a 4-4 conference record. Fourth place, I have NC State. I'm very concerned about this defense on NC State. I think offensively they'll be great. I have them going 7-5 with a 4-4 conference record. The tiebreaker is Louisville beating NC State. I personally think NC State they'll make a bowl game. I am concerned about the defense though. So if this defense starts giving up points, um, they might not make a bowl game. So hopefully the defense can stay intact, hold their ground, and hopefully NC State makes my prediction true, 7-5 with a 4-4 conference record, and go into a bowl game. Fifth place, Wake Forest, 6-6 with a 3-5 conference record. Wake Forest is going to be an average team this year, in my opinion. There's going to be nothing special about Wake Forest. They're going to be a competitive team. They're going to lose against the teams they should lose to and beat the teams they should win. I don't think they're going to have any big upsets this year. And that's really all I have about Wake Forest. So 6-6 and 3-5 conference record. Sixth place, Boston College, 6-6 with a 3-5 conference record. The tiebreaker is Wake Forest beating Boston College on Thursday night or Friday night. It's one of these two. On the road, I have Wake Forest at home beating Boston College on Thursday or Friday night under the lights. But I think Boston College. I think they're better than what the record says, but I do think they're gonna be. I think the schedule's tough. I think the schedule is gonna kind of cost them a little bit. Still have them in a bowl game. They could very well be out of a bowl game and go 5-7 in my humble estimation. But if the schedule was favorable, Boston College could very well be a 9-3 team. But it's a tough schedule. You all, I think, will barely make a bowl game. And yeah, so I have you all going 6-6 with a 3-5 conference record. And then last place, Syracuse. I have them going 4-8 with a 2-6 conference record. Syracuse, I think the offense is going to be decent this year. I'm not high on the defense at all. I think they're easily the worst team in the Atlantic. Basically, I do think they will be competitive. They did have that signature win last year, pulling off the upset against number 2 Clemson. But there's still debate because the quarterback Bryant got injured, so people are like, oh, if he didn't get injured, Clemson would survive. We'll never know, but I don't see Syracuse pulling off any major upsets this year. I do think Syracuse, their head coach, I'm going to be doing this video tomorrow. Their head coach is on the hot seat, so I do think he'll be in that video. I do think that is possibly an issue if you're Syracuse. So hopefully they'll make a bowl game, safest job. But I just don't see them making a bowl game. I think best case scenario is 5-7. So those are my Atlantic football predictions. Now we're going to the coastal football predictions. I have Miami first, 11-1 with a 7-1 conference record. Only losses against Georgia Tech on the road. I think personally, I think Miami's going to be good this year. The schedule is, I think, very favorable again this year, and I think Miami's gonna. Teams will probably be in a lot of games against Miami, but I'm going wide with the defense and say that Miami is gonna have a very good defense and they're gonna win a lot of games. The turnover chain will be out a lot this year, so that's my view about Miami. Virginia Tech. I have you all going 8-4 with a 4-4 conference record. The conference schedule is hard for Virginia Tech. It is really hard. I do have you all being Notre Dame at home for your signature win. You didn't really have a signature win last year, in my opinion. Even though some people think West Virginia was your signature win in week 1, I just don't see that. Didn't see that, but I think Virginia Tech. Hopefully, I'm wrong because I think they could very well go 10-2. If the schedule was favorable, I would probably have them go 10-2. But schedule's not favorable. You play all your tough in conference games on the road. So 4-4 for Virginia Tech in the conference, but 8-4 overall record. And I like the quarterback Jackson on Virginia Tech as well. I think he's gonna have a good season. Third place, North Carolina. North Carolina has an easy schedule in my opinion. That's part of the reason why, and I think they're going to be a very competitive team, much better than last year in my opinion. I had them going 7-5 with a 4-4 conference record. They're going to be in a lot of games, North Carolina. A lot of these games against like a Miami. I have them being Virginia Tech actually. Um, they're going to be in a lot of these games, so I really do think North Carolina will make a bowl game this year. And I think their head coach might be on the hot seat a little bit as well. Fourth place, Duke, 6-6 with a 4-4 conference record. I still think they're a year away from being serious. The schedule was kind of tough this year. Basically, I think they'll be very competitive. But 6-6 with a 4-4 conference record, I think is a safe prediction. I think worst case scenario is 4-8. I think best case scenario is 8-4, so right in the middle. Duke will be pretty good all around, but I still think you're a year away from being serious contenders for the ACC. Fifth place, Georgia Tech, 6-6 also with a 3-5 conference record. Georgia Tech, I think, will pull off the upset against Miami, but that's all that I think they're going to be able to do. It's a tough schedule. They'll be in a lot of these games. I actually think they'll be in the game against Clemson as well, to a lesser degree. But I just don't see this team doing any better than 7-5 with this schedule. It's a really tough schedule. This Georgia Tech team, when they have a tough out conference schedule, of course, with I believe they get Georgia, and I believe they get somebody else as well. But and I think they'll be in that game against Georgia as well. But I do think Georgia Tech is going to be a tough year. But I do have you all making a bowl game, which is good. But 3-5 conference record, which is not that good. Sixth place, Virginia. Virginia was in a bowl game last year, people, and I think I personally last year I only had them at 2-10. They surprised me a lot. They're gonna be in a lot of these games again this year. I think they're gonna lose a lot of these games this year. I have you all going 4-8 with a 1-7 conference record. Basically, if you're Virginia, I just really you'll get blown out by the Miamis. I think you get blown out by the Virginia Techs of the world and the good teams. But against a lot of these teams like Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, those types of teams, they're gonna be in these games. I think you do win a conference game against Pitt this year. Basically, if you're Virginia, I do think you'll decline some, but I do think you'll still be a competitive football team. Not a bowl team, though. I do think best case scenario, though, for you is 6-6 again. But I think worst case scenario could be 1-11. So I decided to go 4-8 with a 1-7 conference record. And then last place, Pitt. 3-9 with an 0-8 conference record. Pitt fans are not going to be happy with me at all. But hear me out on this. Your schedule's tough, A. B, your team's not that good. They're really not. I think best case scenario is 6-6. Worst case scenario is 1-11. I think Pitt will be in most of their games this year. It's just that, are you really going to pick Pitt against Miami? I know they pulled off the big upset last year, but are you going to pick Pitt to beat the Virginia Techs of the world, the North Carolinas of the world? I mean, are you? So, hopefully I'm wrong about it. But I really don't think Pitt is going to have a good year this year in the ACC. 0-8 in the conference with a 3-9 record. So, as you see in the championship game, I have Clemson versus Miami in Charlotte. Let's see what I have for that now. So, I have Clemson being Miami 24-16. I just think Clemson's the much better team. Clemson is going to have the best defense. So Miami's offense is going to not be very efficient this game. I do think Miami's defense keeps Miami in this game for the most part. But at the end of the day, I have to go Clemson 24-16. Probably Clemson, it'll be like 21-16 or something like that. Clemson scores a late field goal. And then Miami can't do anything with the football. So your ACC champions are Clemson. I do think Clemson will get in the college football playoffs because I said at the beginning whoever wins the ACC will get in the college football playoffs as a one-loss team. And Clemson's loss is pretty good. It's going to probably be against a Texas A&M team that's probably going to be ranked at some point this season. So that's my opinion about the ACC, and those are my predictions. So yeah, comment down below. Tell me what you think about my ACC football predictions. I would like to hear what you guys say, and also please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. And this is McD the Beast signing off.